All right, Brian, we should be all set, man. I'll go ahead and check on my page, but yeah, bro,
Hey,
it's good to see you, B Fox. How you doing today, man?
man, I'm blessed, man. And, I'm cool, you know. I'm hanging in there.
Word. Um, yeah, man, it's great to have the chance to connect with you today. We were just
Yes,
kind of
sir.
chatting prior to going live, but our paths haven't crossed as much as I would have liked at this point, but it's really cool to have this avenue to connect with you and just get to know you a little better and talk shop. Because I've probably seen you play 30, 40 times in passing, but yeah, just
Right.
just learning more about who you are, what's going on with you in quarantine right now, and your just general approach. And yeah, it's been a dope avenue to just connect with all the Portland drummers, and was happy we finally got to you, man. So yeah,
Oh, right on, man.
just for starters, bro. How are things going right now with you in quarantine right now? That's kind of been the launching point, if you will, for
You
these
know,
conversations.
it's cool. I went from playing 7 nights a week to zero. And at first, anxiety sat in
Yeah.
because, you know, you treat it as a job. It was my job. I'm paying a mortgage with this. I'm paying everything. I'm the breadwinner of the house, and it's just that once that disappeared, anxiety sat in.
Hmm.
It, but after a while, I took it as I just need to sit down for a minute, you know. And the crazy thing about it, because I just play every night. I just get my stuff together. I might rehearse every day with the band or whatever, but then you go play at night. But get in here to sit behind the drum set and say I'm going to practice, man, I was lost. I mean, bro, I was lost. I sat behind the drum kit like, okay, what I'm going to practice on, you know, because I don't have to learn those songs right now.
Right.
I don't have to be on stage.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
it's been a couple of days starting of this quarantine. I sat behind the drums, didn't know what to do. I just go back in the other room. You know what I mean? So
Word.
I reached out to my boy Shook, you know, who really helped me out with a plan. He said, come up with a practice plan, you know, and man, I appreciated that. You know what I mean? He really like, bro, he laid it out for me, man. Do your warm ups, you know, work on 4 different styles, you know, and then he timed it, you know, man, put this much time into this style, put this much time in this
Yeah.
style, and then when you get done with that, you know, work on a lick that you like to come up with or whatever, and then put that lick into those styles,
Yeah.
and then do your warm down. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like warming up, warm your hands up, and then warm them down. It's like working out. And bro, that really helped me. That
Word.
that
Yeah. Get some
that got me
structure.
exactly. You know what I mean? So I, you said it right there. I didn't know any structure to practice it. Usually you can get behind there, just kind of do little licks or whatever. Do it. Now I actually want to come up with a plan to where I'm sitting behind my drums for a couple of
That's
hours.
what's up, man. And someone,
Yeah.
the homie Shook, I've shedded with him and saw how he warms up and just in general, like got to pick his brain a while back when we got together to play. And I can tell you, yeah, I got a lot out of it with him, and just in terms of um, how to kind of do all the things I've already been doing in terms of warming up and shit, but also putting some extra layers to it. Like you said, running like a lick that you're working on that day through all of these different applications was definitely a takeaway I got from just hanging out with Shook that day, and it was dope because I definitely tried to just put things a little bit more like through a ringer, like through a cycle now, and
Right.
it's fire. And he gave me some good warm ups. It just absolutely roasted my arms too. I'm just like I'm thankful for some of the shit, and just in terms of like cardio workout shit that Shook had that I've never really practiced like that prior. I obviously warm up. I hit the pad tough, practice rudiments and stuff, but he had some shit of
Right.
just like burner stuff where it's just like you're supposed to fatigue out and be able to get faster that way. So yeah, man,
Right.
that's what's up. I'm glad you got together with Shook and got some shit organized. How have you felt since applying all this new practice stuff? Like I'm sure it's been a few weeks now.
Man, it's been good. I've been doing every Sunday. I do old school Sunday, I would do local bands in town. So the first week I did a Pleasure Cut Glide. It's a band I play with now, but my godfather Bruce Carter, who's the original drummer from Pleasure. And if y'all don't know who Bruce Carter is, look him up, man.
Yeah,
He actually put Portland on the map as far as coming from Portland, touring drummers that tour with any and everybody. You would at least expect if you hear a song and not knowing that was Bruce Carter on that song. You know what I mean? So,
fire.
uh, right. So I did that the first week. The second week, I did U Crew. My neighbor is Hakeem. And that's a good thing about living around here, man. Every house around here is musicians. It's cool. So U Crew was the first hip hop band out of Portland that went national. So I did one of their songs, "If You Were Mine." That's what they went big. And then tonight I'm gonna do some Curtis Elgato, the guy I used to play with for
Right.
about 7 years. The great Casey Anderson Balls, who plays with him now. But I'm gonna do a little tribute to Curtis. So I do old school Sundays. That's kind of been my little thing. But on the practicing aspect of it, man, you know what what I have been doing. Like if I think of like Tyrone Hendricks, what would Tyrone do in a groove like this or something? And then I try to be like the mind of Tyrone or
Yeah.
Dennis Dove or Suge or Kurt. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like, I watch you play, man. You know, I'm I'm honored to be in a drum town. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
It is a
so
real
the
drum
thing,
town, man, and that's what we've been saying each episode. This, the respect that Portland deserves, man. There's some real great players here, and you're at obviously amongst the top of that list, bro.
man, I'm blessed, man. I feel like I'm old school, man. You guys are the the new generation that come in and took it to the next level. You know what I mean? But yeah, Portland is a drum town. Every time I go out on tour, they like, bro, where you from? I'm from Portland, Oregon. Bro, do you know such and such? You know Reinhardt Mills?
Yeah,
Oh, bro, Reinhardt's like my little bro. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I was in his wedding, so you know what I mean. It's we go way back. But
yeah.
then they know about the Bruce Carter. They know about the Carlton Jackson. Are you hip to a guy named Dick Burke?
Nah, no, I'm not.
Bro, look up Dick Burke. Rest in peace. He passed away years ago. But Dick Burke was one of Portland's drummers who can show up to a gig with just a snare drum, and the whole gig would be interesting for
Damn,
3 hours. He was that dude, Dick Burke.
that's
Along
what's
with
up, man.
Gary Hobbs. You hit the Gary Hobbs,
Yeah,
right?
Gary Hobbs for sure.
Hobbs, and so I was the young buck out of these old school drummers with Mel Brown, uh, man, you name it, back in those days. So
That's what's up, man.
yeah,
Carlton's an old friend. I used to take drum lessons with Carlton back when I was finishing up college. So a
yeah,
lot of lines and common threads in this town come through Carlton. So I always love that connection.
yeah,
He's just one of those special people.
yeah. CJ to pull my coattail a bunch of times, man. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's my guy, man. That's like a big bro for real. To me, he's helped me out in so many situations,
Yeah.
man, and through so much work. I used to sneak in this club called Cafe Vivo back in the day when I was under 21, and he was playing with Tom Grant, and
Hmm.
bro, I mean, Portland's finest right there.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a mean band with him, Tom Grant and Dan Balmer back in the day.
Bomber.
That's some heavy
Who,
shit.
who was that? Man, I forgot who was on bass, but man, it
Yeah.
changed my life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but kind of Carlton hit me to just like some some stuff as I was getting my feet wet in the Portland scene, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was just, 21 and like, where do I go? Like, what do I check out? Where's the hip shit? Like, and one of the first shows I ever saw was Carlton play, and this is the first time seeing either of these two homies now that are good buds play. Was with that old Radula crew with like Swatkins and Jimmy Russell,
Oh,
and that shit was
yeah.
like hip as shit. I was like, whoa. I need to really get out more after that. That was like kind of just a taste, and yeah, I'm always joking about that band with Jimmy and Steve because that shit was dope as hell. Short.
Bro. Me and Jimmy Russell, we got a band called Bayou Boys. We play
Yeah.
every Monday. And yeah, it's a treat.
Yeah, that's
And
at the Mekong, or how do you pronounce
Mekong
it? Yeah.
Bistro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, I'll fill in part of the family of Boys of Gentlemen,
Yeah.
Crazy show. I'm 52 now, bro. I can't be playing till 2 o'clock in the morning, man. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, that good foot life is different, man.
Bro, shit. I used to do it back in the day with Rubberneck. So we used to do that to play till 2:30, and then check this out. Back in the day, we used to go play the Goodfoot, or we'll be at Belmont, play till 2 o'clock in the morning, and then me and Reinhardt would go get a 6-pack of beer and meet at the Musician Union about 3 o'clock in the morning and play till 6 when they open up. And so that's back in those days, when I could do that. Now I got kids and a wife,
right?
Dogs and shit.
Right. Yep. That's funny, man. That's some good shit. Are you from Portland originally?
Yep. That's
what I always thought, but I just wanted to make sure I was confirming as one of the true originals, man. That's cool because not a lot of people these days, as you're aware, like come from Portland, stay in Portland, and like make that their musical home like after college and shit. So just in general, that's more of a rarity these days. Of course, there's some homies here and there that are some Portland OGs as well, but the fact that you're a true staple in this town is what's up, man. Because
man, I made my move a few times, man. I moved to Arizona for about a year. I was playing with a band called Eros. We were touring, going out with like Johnny Gill, some of like New Edition cats.
Yeah.
And then I did my little time in LA. I didn't really live there, but I was flying back and forth, doing videos, recording. Did a bunch of albums down there. I recorded with some hip hop cats. We did a compilation. So I was going back and forth to Universal Studios, recording like with E40, Sugar Free, Too Short. I put a live band together with Sean Footy on bass.
That's so tight.
Had Eugene Blackman on keyboards, Doug Lewis on guitar, and we just did all these live tracks for these hip hop artists, man. And that was my LA experience. And bro, I'm talking about that was wild. I've seen a lot of shit that changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be a whole.
Did some pre-production with DJ Quick a little bit on that album.
Oh, so, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah. So
man, that's some crazy shit. I'm sure a whole bunch of stories from LA could be our own conversation here, I'm sure.
Right.
When was that, man? Was that in the early 2000s, or what point was that?
Nah, bro, we talking about like 9. Well, yeah, when we did that album, it was like 2002, early 2000. But when I toured with Rubberneck and Glass Chunk, we did the whole United States thing. That was like 95, 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was on the road I was on the road for like 3 years at a time. Didn't really come back home to Portland. I just lived out on the road.
Right.
Just tour life, right.
How was how'd you like the full-time tour grind, man, as opposed to when you're ready to hang that up or just move on to like the more consistent, like you said, 7 nights gigging in town a week, that sort of thing. Did you really get a ton out of that, like full-time tour grind where you're just on the road nonstop?
I mean, yeah, we was touring off a couple of albums, and the music industry was different then. You know, um, you got independent labels now and everything, but back then you only had your major labels that put you on the road, and you're opening for people. Went out with the Les Nubian, when I was out with Rubberneck, and man, we might have did like Santana, different artists like that.
Yeah.
So we was looking at trying to get on Columbia Records, A&M Records, and then with Glass Chunk, we did a video. Um, we did this video called Frenzy. If you look it up on YouTube, yeah, it shows me dressed up. This is my acting part of my career, man. Where I turned around and I looked like a stripper.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh yeah, the shit is funny.
Oh,
bro.
Frenzy. Oh man.
Yeah, it's called Frenzy. Look up the video.
This shit's getting Googled immediately after this.
Yeah, trust me, you gonna text me like Fox. You was tripping.
Yeah,
but bro,
this is great.
But check this out. So we went on. We did a video here. We shot half the video here. Shot it in LA, and we were playing. Was at the Roxy's, and so we did this big spread. Make a long story short, at that time, that's when Beavis and Butthead could. Right. If they start dancing in the video, you're in rotation. And so you come back next week, and then that's when people start, you get your fans or whatever.
Right.
Man, we had this big spread. We did a show they call Green Day. They're big now. But back then they were younger. They didn't really have a crowd. Now they millionaires. Thing about it, bro, we did this big spread, and the video came on, and Beavis and Butthead said, "This sucks." And the band broke up by the time we got back to Portland.
Damn.
But we were looking at a $250,000 signing with like Columbia Records, things like that. So the industry back then was so different.
Right.
It can make or break you. These days, I mean, you just grind it out. You love it. Get on the internet, whatever. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah, man, that's crazy though to hear coming from you, having been in experience with like kind of both industries in terms of like kind of the way things were old school, like this is your shot type of shit. Kind of felt like that, right? Like, hey, this is your shot, and like make sure it goes well. It always seems like that was the mentality back then. And nowadays it's more like, you can carve out your own path. It might not be the millions of dollars that, bands that would make it in the 90s, 2000s are all making, because those would be major record deals like you were talking about. But nowadays it's a little bit less. Here's your one shot, make sure it like goes well, or else like you might as well like not play, or else just go and play at that bar or something. Like there's way more in between area now, right, where you can be a successful musician and not need to like, I guess, play toy soldier for whatever record label it is, like in just make sure that they're happy at all times. But yeah, man, what was that like, I guess, going through that shit and seeing how you're still able to have a sustainable, super successful music career to this day? Like when did you see like that transition and you go like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna be straight, like this is fine?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I was gonna be fine. Like, the difference. This is what weed out the people or the musicians who didn't take it serious. I took my craft serious. I was still young. I was about your age, and bro, now I got 3 kids who are all grown that are probably your age. My oldest daughter's 30, but at that time, I didn't. I was parlaying, doing everything, but I was still heavy about my craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just so hungry about playing drums, and partying too. Like Dr. Dre said, I get paid to kick it. So, that's I live by that
Yeah.
motto.
Word.
You know, and that
Love
caught up
that.
to my ass too, though. Trust me, it caught up to me.
Yeah.
So, but back then, that's why you see a lot of individual artists. You see, you know, there's no more groups really. You know, the group thing kind of faded out back then. So I went through that transition of playing just for an artist instead of having a band. You get what I mean?
Of
And
course,
so
man.
that's kind of what happened with Glass Chunk, our guitar player. He was a model. He was already had money. He the one supported our tour. When we went out, we played with like the Scorpions, all the
Yeah.
big rock band. Because Glass Chunk was a metal band. This is when I was playing metal. You know, so I'm doing double pedal and
Oh man,
all
first
this.
of all, pause, because I would love to hear you just shred on some metal, dude. I gotta see some old
Um,
clips of that, man. That would be dope.
bro, look up Glass Chunk.
I
I
will.
know they have our video,
I'm saying
but
I'm looking this shit up right after this. Glass Chunk, man. This is gonna
Glass
be
Chunk, yeah,
it's gonna
man,
be some
it's
good
crazy.
shit.
This is about the time when Soundgarden,
Right.
Nirvana, and all them came out. That's when we was on the road, and we was connecting with these bands.
Sure.
You know, we hung out in Washington with the bass player of Nirvana back in those days, man, doing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Yeah, living that
but we went
Sunset
living that
Boulevard
rock.
life sort of shit, man. That's crazy.
Right.
That's
But
weird. Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
But up to this day, you know, now I get to work 7 days a week at home. I'm blessed to do that. You know what I mean? That's it ain't. And the thing about it ain't like people calling me, come play with my band, and I got 7 different bands. Some of these bands I started myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to go work. Sometimes you got to go get the work. You know, and you establish that relationship with a lot of musicians in town, and then put your band together. So I have a New Orleans band. We do Sunday and Monday. Then I got a Vintage Soul on Tuesdays at Clyde. Wednesdays I play with Lloyd Jones, great writer. Check him out.
Yeah.
And Thursday we got our funk band, the Gold Experience, where we just play old school straight funk. Friday, Saturday, I might play with Hit Machine or whoever called. Curtis might hit me up.
Right.
Casey can't do it. And then I do church. I'm diligent playing church Saturdays and Sundays. And so that's my schedule. So it goes Sunday to Sunday.
That's what's up, man. And
Yeah.
and most of those bands are all ones that you formed yourself.
Yeah, Bayou Boys got together with me and Dave Call. We've been together for like going on like 7 to 8 years, man. We've been at it. And Steve Karen on keyboards. We have Dan Berkeley playing guitar, but we have Mark Sharp, guitar player.
Yeah.
Used to play with Bonnie Ray. I mean, it's a good band, you know.
No doubt.
And that New Orleans stuff, I had to sit back and I pick Terrence Higgins' brain about how to approach the New Orleans thing. He's from New Orleans, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to Terrence Higgins?
Yeah, Terrence Higgins for sure.
Yeah, man, that's my bro.
Yeah, man.
Bad dude. Dude.
That kind of just shows you, like, in just how well rounded, I guess, our Portland scene. Like, it doesn't just come from your generation, but there's a heavy trickle down in terms of two dudes that can really play a lot of styles at a high level, and it's always cool, like, being influenced by the older drummers in this town coming up, and still to this day, like, always wanting to learn as I'm, pretty much checking out music for pleasure, but also to be like, whoa, that's a great approach to what he just did on this New Orleans style groove. And I'm always doing that with you and you or Shook or Tyrone or whatever. Cause yeah, it's nice. That was always my thing, right? I didn't want to be like just the pocket guy. I didn't want to be just the jazz guy. I didn't want to be like just like some dude that like wants to play chops in every like groove. It's dope to be able to do all that, and so it's like thanks to you guys and in the generation above you, like Carlton, that was already one of my drum instructors, kind of telling me the importance of that and seeing the value actually on gigs locally and being like, oh man, these guys aren't playing, like they can play everything, like throw.
Most definitely, and it's good to know. I'm not a chop guy. I mean, you know what I mean. I can. I got my little stuff, whatever.
I mean,
My little
that's
side.
that's up for debate, my guy.
I see. I watch you cats play, man, and I'm like, my limbs don't even move like that anymore, man. As I
Yeah,
get older, so I just stick right here. This is what I guess paying the bills right now, you know.
right. Right.
But yeah, but that's the thing too. One thing I like about the Portland drum scene, everybody has their own sound.
Hmm.
Regardless, you can get on the same song. You get on the same song. I get on the same song.
Yep.
Tyrone get on the same song. Dennis Dunn, whoever, and everybody's approach is great, but it's different.
Yep.
And that's what, man. I dig that. I
Yeah,
dig that, man.
that's that good shit right there, man. What you just said is like my favorite thing about high level musicianship is just like the individuality and everyone just being not like, oh hey, look at the way I'm playing on this, but it's just natural that like you're gonna have your own sound. Even one of my favorite things that I've been kind of a common talking point in this is like being inspired by like kind of the same group of drummers and how all of
Mm-hmm.
us have put together this vocabulary in like our own way and shaped that
Yep.
in our own way to be able to say it just differently, right? Like I'm never gonna sound like you or Tyrone, and I'm straight with that. Like
Right.
that's a good thing.
There's the beauty in that because I watch you play. I'm like, damn. Okay. Uh, but
Thanks,
and
man.
there's certain things you do with your left hand. I watch that and I peep that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I would have never thought of it like that. But I'm like, that is so dope to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is one thing I do. Like we do rhythm section seminars. Me and Ben Jones, bass player. We were gonna start doing a bunch of that until this COVID thing hit. But that's one thing I like to teach younger drummers coming up. Anything you're doing is not wrong. It's not a wrong thing. It's placement, and there's a time for everything.
No doubt about that, man.
You get what I mean? That what you might have did might not be the time for that. You know what I mean? Not to saying that it's wrong. That might it sounds great.
Yep.
You studied on that, but know where to put that in, know where to place that in. You know,
Yep.
and that comes with maturity in your playing too. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man.
It's, yeah,
Coming up learning licks, it's easy to be like, oh, it'll fit here, and then just you play it because you could, and then
right,
it's another thing to take that maturity as you're learning like a more stylistic, authentic approach to how music should sound, or like just a respect for the band leader or the way shit should just have more balance, right? It's like, okay, I know I don't have to play that anymore. Like
right,
it's a great realization, and I'm still, like I say all the time, I'm no like finished product or anywhere close to where I want to be, so I'm still learning like how to pick and choose between when you have like every option in the kitchen sink to be like, well, I have these tools. Here's how I can use them, but just getting more mature about your voice and where you decide to phrase things is always the coolest experimentation night in and night out, man.
right. I was talking to a friend drummer of mine, man, for years. Dennis Chambers will always tell me, he's like, bro, there's a magic in just sitting there and
Hmm.
not moving. If you can sit there and not move and feel the magic and feel and look at just the reaction, man, that right there is that's $1 million right there.
Yeah,
You
man,
know,
and that
you know
might
what
as
I
well
mean?
be coming from God's lips himself. Dennis Chambers to me is like one of the goats because of how he I truly think that dude is like the first modern drummer. Like that's just my opinion, and I've
Hmm.
talked to a lot of drummers about this. Like I truly think his voicing and like making things come from like I can shred on any style, but I have like a kind of a gospel funk approach, but I also like am not just like playing over everything like at every time. Like I truly think he is the sound that like was modernized in like the 90s and now like everyone emulates to this day from like a gospel background.
Most definitely.
I truly think he like is the forefather of that shit.
Yeah, man. And he's a funny dude, bro. I was doing a string of shows with Pee Wee Ellis and Fred Wesley, and Dennis Chambers is kind of walked me through approach on the gig. You know what I mean? Uh, because a lot of what Pee Wee wanted is not chops. You know, some you got to be able to put something in there because he's gonna look at you and he wants you to go.
Yep.
You know, but the thing about it is just placement too. When to put that in. And man, Dennis, man, I really appreciate him on that. He's funny dude though, too, bro. He's funny. You'll be sitting there playing, and he'll send Fred Wesley a text or some picture, might be of a female, and Fred will sit there and laugh during the gig in front of her. Like, what is he laughing at, man? Dennis Chambers, and he'll show me. Dennis Chambers just sent him a picture. It's funny, man. Funny dude.
That's great. I mean, that's pretty special. You got the chance to I guess just talk shop with, I mean, what everyone that ever picked up sticks would consider one of the GOATs, man. That's pretty sweet. How long?
Bro, he's the Michael Jordan of drumming, man.
Yeah, I mean, real talk
Michael
though.
Jordan, yeah, he changed too, man. Michael had the long, brought the footies in with the long shorts. Dennis Chambers did the same thing with drumming, man.
Yeah, same era.
I used to have a big ass curl.
Yeah.
You know how Dennis Chambers had a curl
yeah,
back in the day?
the Jerry curl, bro. That was mean.
I had a Hawaiian silky, bro,
Get
back
him.
in the day because Dennis Chambers had that, right.
Man,
that fell out.
You might need to throw a couple of these old pictures and clips in the comment section after this. Be like, I think the people need to see this. I'm not messing around, man. I think some people need to see these photos, bro. This is amazing. Oh man, if I see B Fox with a Jerry curl, that I won't ever be able to look at you the same.
Oh, bro, I got plenty of pictures, bro, with me at the candlelight room back in the day, man.
Fuck, that's good. That's good stuff. I love
shoulders, yeah.
I love that MJ analogy though. I don't think there's a better drummer to give that, I guess, that label to, or that tie into Michael Jordan, because coming in that same era, like 90s, and making what like was this kind of like everyone is dope at this game, but like, okay, I'm gonna push it to where it's never been seen before, and everyone after me is gonna want to sound like that. And that was exactly with MJ.
But I put it to you like this though. Dennis is the one who was out there, who was noticeable. But there are so, like Vinny Galiuta.
Right.
Vinny is vicious.
Right.
You know? I mean, then you had cast underground drummers that was vicious, like from Fishbone. I mean, bro, that drummer from Fishbone, man, we toured Rubberneck. We toured with Parliament Funkadelic and Fishbone.
Yep.
We opened up for Fishbone. Fishbone went on before Parliament, and we did a West Coast tour doing that, man. And this drummer every night, man, sitting back watching him, bro. It was a clinic within itself.
Yeah.
You know. And there was a lot of drummers, you know. But Dennis came out on the floor. He gave us that thing like, oh, we could do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool to put that in there because anybody else get fired. And then
that's what I'm saying though. He put it on the main stage. You know, he made room for a lot of people to say cooler. I mean, like everyone, a lot of people could play like that, but having that dude to come out on the foregrounds and be like, watch me rip, but also be like the most musical drummer you've ever heard in your life. So it's just like, that's why I think he's unique in that sense.
I watched him play a show where the percussion player had the percussion set up and Dennis had the drum, and the percussion player couldn't play that show. He got sick or something. So he brought all the timbales and congas over to the drum kit. And, bro, he played both parts.
Of course, yeah.
I watch it with my eyes, man, and this, yeah.
He's like, this is light work. Give me that whole setup. Bring it on.
And didn't miss a beat, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. That's what's up. So, amongst your just heavy rotation of work that you have nowadays, how are you dealing with the fact of now that you're kind of in a practice routine, gotten over that initial, I guess, anxiety, which is, I think, still all in us a little bit. We all want to get back to work and playing gigs, and I think that's super natural. But right. I guess just in general, like how are things now since you've had like almost a month to process this quarantine thing, and now you have more of some structure that you were saying that you're glad to be diving into. What's some of the things that you're now wanting to keep accomplishing before things get set up, like let's say a month, 2 months, who knows, right?
Right. Well, thing about it, I'm not doing the business all day.
Mm-hmm.
That's refreshing.
Yep.
You know, because usually Monday I get up, make sure the clubs that we play during the week or that weekend, maybe like the casinos or whatever, I'm doing a lot of the business because I put a band around it. We were supposed to play the Drifters last week, old school Motown band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we were supposed to play the casino with the Drifters. A lot of those times I got to do the follow-up business. And so all the business aspect of it is I don't have to deal with that right now. So it's just really play some music, you know, go back to where you started, what you love to do. And that's what I found myself doing. You know, it didn't start it out doing business. It started out the love of being on this drum kit.
Yep.
You know, and so it's almost I had to go back and find my love again, you know, because it was all business to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm paying a mortgage, man. I'm trying to pay a house off.
I feel that, man.
You feel me? And so it's all about the grind. It ain't no grind no more. So get back, and so to find that love again, to get behind your kit and just really one-on-one and sit down and just communicate with your drum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was hard for me, you know, and I find myself getting back into that like I used to back when I was a kid.
Right.
The shit that made me hype, you know, like, ooh, you know. So I find myself doing that, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm up there, man. So I go every other day. You know what I mean? I got some dogs I'm playing with, man. I'm doing the home life, man, and I'm digging it. You know, I got a lovely wife who cooking every day, bro. So I gotta watch myself, bro.
Yeah, we're all eating these days, man. You know,
bro.
Everyone's eating. Yeah, whether it's good home cooking or just some shit in your cabinet, everyone's eating, man. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm trying to just stay active and exercise a little bit so I don't blow up in this whole time. But
do it while you can, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to hear that, man. It's great to hear you talk about getting back to just the joy of playing our instrument. That's like, you know, why we start out on this whole process and this journey of saying like, yeah, this is what I want to do, not just because I'm good at it and because I love it, but now I have the means to make money at it. And then when that aspect is kind of taken away at this point, like really forcefully, like you don't have a choice in that matter. Realizing that there's still that love of why you do this, right? So that's pretty special to hear coming from you, man.
Because I hear a lot of drummers, man. I hear a lot of old drummers, friend of mine, that were killer drummers, but they handle so much business they got burnt out.
Yeah,
you know, and that's my big fear, man. I think I'm gonna do this until I die, until I can't do it no more. You know, but I want to keep that love too, because like I said, I can get burnt out on the business aspect.
Right,
You
especially
know,
when you're a band leader having to deal with bookings so much, and that shit gets tiresome.
oh,
Even
bro,
if it's a weekly gig thing, it's still like a lot of logistics that you got to take care of, and that
yeah,
you spend just as much time with that, if not more, than any rehearsal, any sort of shed. So I can relate in terms of just trying to get my own things going, my own bands formed, in the last year more so than ever, and just like
right,
being like, God damn, this grind, I haven't even touched my sticks yet, and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, and all I've been doing this morning is just like sending out some emails. So I feel
exactly,
I feel that, man, and it's good, dude. Like let that all go to the wayside for now, and when things are ready to book again, you can get back on that horse. But that's great to hear that you're just loving
most
playing drums
definitely,
again, man. That's great.
most definitely, man. I just reach out to my drum homies, man. I communicate every often, like with Sticks Taylor. You hip to him?
I follow that dude on Instagram. That's for sure.
That's my little bro, man, and he's inspiring. Y'all look up. He does this thing called trap jazz.
Oh,
He says,
dope.
yeah, yeah, check it out, bro. Him, Chris Key. These are like my brothers in drums, man. My younger brothers in drums, man, and it helps keep me inspired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just reaching out. And these cats is national artists, but they love talking drums. They love
Hmm.
to help you out. You know what I mean? Not everybody's an asshole. You know,
Yeah, that's
you
true,
you
man.
you get some cats who full of themselves, but I mean whatever, and they shred.
Hmm.
Man, go ahead, do that. But I like the aspect of how cats like to help each other, man.
No
You
doubt.
know, and I dig that, bro. And it won't look down on you because you can't do this certain lick or at
Yeah.
this fast or whatever.
Yeah, it's a funny mentality to carry that like level of competitiveness to where you're just always talking down about dudes, and like it's cool in our scene, man, that like that shit doesn't really like exist to a high level, right? Like
At
you may
all.
hear some shit in passing where you're like, oh, that's like you need to chill a little or whatever, but uh
Right.
at the end of the day, man, like our scene is so tight and filled with and that there's a lot to be said, I think, from your guys's generation of just like how y'all handle business in not a petty way, right? Like it's like, oh, we just like are about our shit and we respect people that are about their shit. And I
Right.
think there's been a trickle down effect in terms of like the drum culture here to where like dudes don't really need to be super like shady in terms of like personality and ultra competitive with other dudes. But yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
it's been really cool to see coming up and just having love for pretty much every drummer that's at like at a professional level in this scene.
Right
Um,
on, man.
and yeah, it's no different. When you talk about these national touring dudes, that they're still human beings, and I know like they've been on some humongous platforms, but it's always amazing to me. Like it is a little extra special to hear when these dudes are like humble as shit and like just really good people. So I always love
Yeah.
love hearing that, man, because it's like, oh, that dude had the opportunity to become a dickhead, and instead he's just like as cool as ever.
Right. And then that's another thing. Like when I was doing seminars, I had a lot of opportunities when I was younger, kind of like in my mid 20s, early 30s. Yeah, and I made some mistakes. You know what I mean? How would I put it? I'm gonna just call it like it is. It's like I had a possible gig with Gladys Knight. You know, because of partying so much, I didn't, I didn't make that a business move. You know what I mean? I just thought like, I'm good enough. And bro, I learned quick. That
Mm-hmm.
is not the attitude, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is not you. You will lose your ass out here. Because there's always somebody that can fill those shoes. And the thing about and that's another thing I like to teach young drummers, man, to hang. 60% of it is the playing. You know what I mean? Learn your part. You practice, you shed to know the music. But if you're not a good hang and you don't show up on time, if you ain't 15 minutes early, you know what I mean, to be there on time, whatever, man, there's some cats that's gonna handle it like business. You know what I mean? And so that's another thing for everybody to keep in mind, man. Is 60% of it is the playing, but the rest of it, that 40%, man, it's all about being that dude, that person. Don't judge a cat, man.
Couldn't
You know
agree.
what I mean?
Couldn't agree more, man. And yeah, like, you know, you and Tyrone have both said similar things, man, about being humble and staying humble, and like, even if you feel like, hey, like I'm about my shit, I know what I'm doing here, like not carrying an ego in terms of like your approach to any sort of night, right? It's just like people don't need that shit, and just because you're at like a just because you built a career or you're at a level of success, like doesn't mean like you know you're better than people or
No,
whatnot,
everybody
right?
got to
It's like,
start somewhere. You know what I mean? And everybody start. You didn't come out the womb just I'm a national drummer. No, no, man. You know, that's what I like, man. I dig that humble. You know, Vinny's like that. Vinny Caliulas, man. Meeting him, he's super humble. I like that dude. Question, you know.
yeah, I mean, it has some like alien level abilities there. I just every time I see Vinny play like on a clip, I'm just like, you were born on a different planet, man. But yeah, just to, you know, if those dudes can be humble, then really like no one else has an excuse. That's I guess my point in like, you know, it's okay to have a little bit of an ego in terms of keeping yourself driven and motivated, but if that gets in the way of your relationships and in the hang, like you said, that's the most important part, man. People want to be around just a cool, level-headed person. Doesn't matter like what the situation is, and if you're causing more problems than you know than you're adding value, then that becomes an issue because there is someone else that can play the parts.
I see so many great drummers lose it, you know, because the hang wasn't cool. And I'm not exempt, you know. I went through my ups and downs. You know, I'm clean and sober now. I dealt with my demons, you know, and it's easy to get caught up in this industry like that, you know. So be aware of that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Don't nobody want to tour with a problem. If I got to babysit you doing this problem, I got a cat who takes it a little serious. Might not be as good as you, but he's gonna take a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? So I might have to roll with him. You know?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, man. Is that equation, right? That formula you put up, like 60-40, I think is pretty damn accurate, man. Because like your playing gets you the gig, but it doesn't keep it. You know?
Nope, you're right.
Like
you're right.
It gets you to say like, all right, you're our dude, but after that you gotta carry yourself the right way.
And I gotta say this too: it's our responsibility as drum brothers here in this town. If you see somebody slipping on the wayside, like, you know, man, you my boy. Hey, man, let me holler at you, man. Check it out. Man, you need to slow that down, man. Well, what you talking about? Man, come on, man. Pull that back a little bit. You know, keep the gig, man. You know, be a little bit more approachable. Man, Cat was just trying to ask you a question, man, and you know, you flip out.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that. Come on, man. You know, and Caston, like I said, CJ done pull my coattail, man. You know, as a young man, bro, and I honor that. You know, because he just didn't see a guy who can play and will go ahead and bump your head. He's like, hey, man, you know, be approachable, man. Slow that down a little bit. You know, and that's love, bro. That's how we got to be as drum brothers.
Right, man. That's what's up. That's very cool, man. That sense of brotherhood, and it's something I feel in this city, man, for sure. And it comes from people my age that are all looking out for each other, all wanting to push each other, but it also comes from your age group, man, of just killing drummers. And you know, you mentioned Carlton again, but man, he really beautifully emulates that, like, I think, approach to life. and like
Yes.
being a true professional, and like, not like putting up with bullshit either. Like, he's not
Right.
a pushover either, but just being
No.
someone that's like, all right, I'm gonna carry my business, like, and I expect you to do the same. Like, like he's always been that dude.
Exactly. You know, come to the table like I'm coming. It's all good.
Yeah, and that's like that's something where like bands mostly are broken up by that one aspect, right? If it's not a personality clash, it's because like people aren't some people are taking it a lot more seriously than others. That's just like usually the case. And so, you know, if it's your baby, that's one thing, and like you want everyone to buy in, that's something else. But yeah, just always having that sense of humbleness that you come to the door with, and knowing that like, okay, we all need to be in this equation that's cool,
Right.
man. So I appreciate
Most
you
definitely.
touching on that as well.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, man. Oh, we got some Casey Anderson comments in here. These are good.
What's up, Bo?
I knew Casey would come to bat today.
That's my bro.
First of all, he
That's my
said,
little
Fox,
brother.
Fox, you got a shaved head. Now you got to grow the beard so you can have the quick and easy boys too. Boys and gentlemen band haircut.
My hair
Oh,
look like a sucked
Casey,
on milk dud, man. Look
Casey, coming in hot.
at it.
Oh
That's my
man.
bro.
Then he says, quoting Tommy Ego, to piggyback off what you're saying, you're not a master until you help a beginner, and that's something I've learned a lot through starting teaching a lot more in the last. I've taught for probably a few years now, but like really ramped up in the last two, and it really shows you by teaching like how much you know and how well you're able to explain things, and
Mm-hmm.
it just like reaffirms all the things where you're like, oh, I really do believe this, and now I'm instilling it in another person, right? It's like it's extra affirming when you're like, oh, these are actually my key principles when it comes to drumming, and I think it's super important that you know these things, right? So I don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
I don't know if there's some of the things like that for you when you're talking to younger cats like myself, or even younger coming up through school or anything. Are there any like takeaways other than the personality, the business side and shit that we already haven't
Eh,
talked about?
You know, I live by an old school rule. There was a song called "The Race Ain't Given to the Fastest Runner."
Mm,
But it's the one who endured to the end.
yeah.
You might not be the fastest cat, you might not be this, that, and the third, but bro, stay at it. Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with loving your instrument.
Right.
That comes with you. So I asked a question to younger cats. Even when I was teaching or doing a seminar or something. Do you love what you do? Do you love playing the drum? Yeah, but I can't do that. Well, don't do that. Just love what you do. Let's keep love. First, stay in love with the drum kit.
Oh,
All this
amen,
other
man.
stuff, all this stuff will come. You know, you build it, it will come.
Mm-hmm.
But don't love it because, or don't quit because you couldn't do something. And that's I always think of that. The race ain't given to the swift or the strong, but the one who do it endures to the end. I'm gonna do this until I die. I don't care if I'm just doing 2/4. If I'm going boom, cat.
Yeah, that's how I feel, man. If someone's got to like roll me up to a kid at 82, and I'm fortunate enough to get to that age, that'd be my dream, man. Of being like, all right, I might be slowing down the band here, but get my ass up there, and I'm gonna try to hold on to 2 and 4.
Right, bro. I'm telling you, man. I play with this guy named Buddy Guy. Man, I don't know how he's still doing it, but bro, he is doing it. Man, this brother is old. You heard of Buddy Guy, guitar player?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, he's a legend,
Blues legend.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes I don't see how he even stands up.
Yeah, man. He was at Portland Blues Fest a couple years ago back, right? Main stage, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I saw Buddy Guy play live in front of like the whole festival. But man, he was still shredding. Like
Yeah.
He wasn't just playing your typical old man blues licks. Like he still had a voice to say, and with emotion, and
Yeah.
like, man, you could really hear what he was feeling that day. And I was just so inspired. It just shows you
Right.
like someone that's done this a whole lifetime can keep that passion and still have things to offer, even if they don't have their
Right.
young hands playing on the instrument, man.
Right.
It's what's up.
My uncle from Portland. If you ever look him up, Lloyd Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my uncle. He was a guitar player, and we played up until his death. We even played his funeral. But man, he was somebody who stuck. I mean, bro, he didn't have a bunch of licks or whatever, but man, he just loved what he did. He loved the guitar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's inspiring for me. So I just think, man, I'm like you. I'm gonna be wheeled up to this drum kit in a wheelchair with a colostomy bag on the back of it, and I'm gonna play, bro.
That's what's up. Yeah, and I mean, speaking from so much experience, right? Like you've seen where people you've gone through experiences, in other words, where like people would be crushed by those, like, oh, this one band that I put a lot of weight and a lot of time and a lot of energy into, like, that just flopped on me in like a click of a finger, like you were explaining earlier, and like you're like, now what? But the fact that you had so much push and desire to keep playing your instrument, like that shit figures itself out when you go about your business the way you have, right?
It's like now. I don't know what's gonna happen
Right.
when this is over with.
Yep.
I'm supposed to have a casino gig next week. That's not gonna happen. So the thing about it, first in my mind is like, you know what? I ain't gonna never be slipping like this. I gotta get a job. I gotta get my job together. But you know what? Then I look back. I do need finances. We knew life still goes on. Still got to pay for shit. But now is a good time to really just touch up on some things, on going back to the basics of what I love, man. And so, even with that being said, not knowing what's going to happen when this is over with, I don't see us getting back to work right away. Even when they open up, clubs still got to make some money enough to pay us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's gonna be a weird transition, man. And no one knows how, it's not clear cut black and white, really. Like, it's hard to predict how open venues are going to be right away, like day one, to booking bands. And so that's a little, try to not get into that dark tunnel territory of that thought process. But I'm just trying to stay optimistic and know that there's going to be some sense of live music at some point.
Yeah.
And so,
whether at some point it'll come back. You know what I mean? But it's just that the survival part of it.
Yeah, man, that's the scary thing. You bring up real realities that all of us are facing right now, and I just got like the stimulus check, and I'm like, that's cool for like a month.
Right, bro.
I'm like that's
$7 an hour for a month.
I'm like, that's straight for like a month, and then like, okay, what are we doing about May? Like, what are we doing about June? Like, and so it's real for all of us, and that's why that's been a big inspiration for me, wanting to start this and just reach out to a bunch of homies, see how everyone's doing in their mental space.
I think you're doing a great job at this, bro. Please keep up the good work, man. It's inspiring. It's so inspiring, bro, for all ages, for all types of drummers, man. Just to kind of see where everybody's thought process or how they go about it. Because again, at age 52, and I sat by as somebody who play every night, and when I sat behind them drums, bro, a couple weeks ago, I didn't know what to do. I literally got scared, and like I said, shook pull. He's like, here, bro, this was yada yada. Try this. Casey Anderson would send me some songs, man. Here, play to this. You got this. So I was open to ideals, man.
Yeah, man, and
help a brother out.
That's the crazy thing, is what you just said. Is that like having all this time and not having it be there before, and now knowing like, okay, I have to kind of be my own boss here. Like I'm not learning music like I normally have to. So like, how am I going to use this time to like keep the love of my instrument, but also feel some sense of progress here? Like,
Right.
is there some takeaway you feel like, Brian, that like you're going to be carrying this over, like with the newfound practice strategy or anything like that, or like your approach to day to day like shed that you
You
weren't
know,
doing prior?
yeah. I mean, there's that, and also the technical aspect. Like I said, this industry has changed so much. As you can see, everybody doing virtual concerts and everything. Man, that's a whole nother learning experience on how to learn your technical. You know,
Yep,
I got to get my gear up to par so I can
no
be able to
doubt.
do that. You know, Cass is making albums in their pajamas, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so that's a whole nother side of it too. You know, my boy Sticks Taylor, he was like, bro, just like you practice those drums, man. Practice. See
you got that
that rolling
SPD.
pad?
Yeah,
Yeah, get on that, man. Learn how to do that too. You know, you got to learn. You got to learn these different aspects to keep moving. You know what I mean? And
yep. Now's the time, man. I mean,
now,
we
no
don't
better
have
time
the
than the
same
present.
excuses we always do, man. And I feel like I'm always using the time constraint of like a normal week as an excuse. And I'm gonna try to get out of that habit when we get back to this like normal life, if you will, because seeing
Right,
how much I'm able to accomplish in like a 24-hour period, while some days are obviously more, um,
right,
more efficient and got more done that day than others. But like getting
right.
back to recording, getting all of the rust off of these things, hopefully I'll have less anxiety to open up all that, like
Man,
to
you
have
know
time
who?
to practice an hour and a half before I start, rehearsal and
Right.
learning music and
You
all of
know who
that.
else is dope at that is Corey.
Yeah, Corey's
You know,
dope at using the SPD, man. He puts it on
oh
a lot of
man,
his gigs, and we were talking about that. And what he told me, and you can ask Corey about this, but he like wants it to be part of his sound, which I totally respect. I love that. And
bro, he thinks so outside the box with this stuff, man.
yeah,
Corey, I don't know if you're gonna hear this or not, but bro, hold a clinic doing this, man. We need
yeah,
you, bro. Telling you.
yeah, but definitely, Brian, use that SPD. I have one myself, and I love every time that thing is no different than any other process, man. It definitely takes its own shedding
Right,
to learn how to program everything, to learn how to initiate a backing track with a live band and then play to that, and then throw
right,
triggers on top of that. It's got a lot of its own abilities to add to a live band that I'd love to see you incorporate all the time. So that would be sick to see. But yeah, I definitely need to get on my own horse on that and start shedding
bro.
the pad a little bit as well. But Corey is really fired that shit.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, man, I really appreciate it, man. I'm honored, man. Again, I love our drum family for real, man. And also, man, I need to hook up with you, bro. I need some help.
About
You,
what?
get- you got to help an old school brother. My left hand is sleepy as fuck, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, man,
I dig your left hand.
I appreciate that a lot, man. That's I work a lot at it, but yeah, we need to get together soon. I was telling you before we got on the live call. I see two drum sets set up in that space of yours. So we gotta put that to
Yes,
good
sir.
use when we're able to get in a safe way and meet up as soon as possible, man. That would be a bunch
Yes,
of
sir.
fun. We'd be
And it's
able to.
social distancing too.
Yeah,
I mean, for
it's
real,
built
man.
in social distancing. You're right, man. Yeah,
For real.
luckily we play instruments that almost are 6 feet wide.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, saying, man.
Well,
But yeah, that would be fun, man. There's plenty to learn from you, and yeah, I'm always learning when I'm checking you out on a bandstand, anyways. So
whatever I can do to help any of my younger brothers, man, you let me know, bro. I'm nothing but a phone call away. So
I appreciate that, B, for real, man.
yes,
And
sir.
it's been real talking to you, man.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, thanks for reaching out and wanting to be a part of this thing that I just kind of organically put together out of nowhere. But yeah, it's been real fun, and it's been a pleasure shooting the shit with you, dude.
Right on, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, you stay well, and we'll
Yeah.
talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, my guy. Talk soon.
All right, bro.
Peace.
All right, bro. Peace.